Well, hello, and welcome to Preparing to Survive and Thrive Homesteading Channel with Charlie B. So, what am I up to today? Well, I'm going to answer the age-old question of what's for dinner. So, today is actually not a full dinner. We've got Mother's Day coming up, and I'm actually going to do this for Mother's Day, and I need to make it the day before. And what we're going to be doing is potato salad. Now, this is not your normal potato salad where you throw in some potatoes and you throw in some mayonnaise and how they do it at Martin's is like this. This is actually a potato salad with a cooked sauce. And that's what makes the potato salad so good, along with celery and onions and the hard-boiled eggs. So hang with me, and I'm going to answer that question. And for the meat, somebody else is doing the meat, but normally if I'm doing it here at home for just a small batch, I will throw on some hamburgers or hot dogs on the grill. So I'm going to answer what's for dinner. So what I have here is 5 pounds of potatoes. The picnic's probably going to be around 20 people, somewhere around there, between 15 and 20, I figure. So I did 5 pounds of potatoes. I did them in my Instant Pot, and I did it on the pressure canning session. It's really not a canning thing, but it's pressure. So it only takes about 20 minutes to do all these potatoes, and I don't end up with a lot of steam throughout my house for as long. Plus, I use a lot less water. However, I do use electricity, which is fine. But with these, I am going to show you how I do them. These potatoes are still very hot. So I let them cool a little bit, but they're still hot. So with them, even if you boil them, because my foster mother actually used to boil them, these guys are still really hot. And you can see where they've started to split, where they're done. And we would just take it and peel the peelings right off. Now, you can leave the peels on if you like them. However, it's kind of one of those things that when I start cutting them off, the peels start to come off, so I might as well go ahead and cut them. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel these guys. And the hotter the potato is, believe it or not, the easier they does peel, and the less potato meat or flesh, whatever you want to call it, will be left on the skins. And I'm just going to dice these up into about 1/2 inch chunks, I'm figuring. Like I said, these potatoes are still pretty hot. And this will make like a really good serving for anybody, especially when we get the onions and the celery in there and the hard-boiled eggs. So make sure you leave me a comment. If there's a potato salad that you like to make, you can even leave a recipe so I can maybe try that. So everybody loves this potato salad. I have not given this recipe out because it was kind of a secret family recipe of my foster mother's. Yeah, I'm going to share. So, but I guess we'll see if anybody actually does it, because this is not a real simple recipe. It is very good, in my opinion. I've been doing it for years, so to me it is simple with the cooked sauce. But for others to just start out making this, it can take a little time for trial and error, but it's not that hard to mess up. So I've got my first potatoes filled, and I am just going to cut it like this. Actually, I should have cut it down this way first. And then I'm going to just cut it in chunks. This guy is pretty hot. Now, these chunks don't have to be perfect, so don't overstress yourself. But when I do this, I make sure I also do not cut my fingers, because that would be a very bad thing. Hot, 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 hot. And I'm going to just cut them like this and put them over the bowl. So I got my first one done. I'll just hot, 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 hot. If I see a piece that's too big, I'll just cut it with my knife to make sure it is small enough. Okay, so let me go ahead and get the rest of these potatoes done, and we'll be back with the rest of the recipe and making the sauce. Also, when you're cooking these potatoes, I want to make sure that you know that you want them to be still very well put together. If you're going to be boiling them, don't let them get too mushy. When the skins start to peel off and the pot that's definitely when I would be checking, and it'll probably be time to pull them out of the water. And that's kind of how I learned to do it, because you don't want them to turn into mush. They definitely need to be nice and solid when you're cutting them up. So I'm going to go back at it. Okay, so I cut up all the potatoes. I had to run outside, so I put a lid on these guys. And our next item of business is we're going to cut up we're going to start with three hard-boiled eggs. Now, I just slice these just like what I do and dice them like I would do the potatoes. I know somebody's going to see this and be like, you shouldn't be cutting towards your hands. Well, yeah. We'll just let it go at that. I know I shouldn't be doing it, but this is how I was taught, and this is how I will probably continue to do it forever. I just have to be very gingerly so I don't cut my fingers. People's mowing the grass. It is that time of the year if you can hear them out there. Yeah, this one will be the third one. I'm going to make sure I have enough of the egg in here. I know I had an ex-father-in-law yell at me and tell me, you don't put potatoes in egg salad, so why would you put eggs in potato salad? He didn't like eggs. Well, this is how we've always made it, and this is much better than without it, in my opinion, and everybody loves this potato salad. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add one more, so it will end up being 4, at least unless I decide I want more. I figured it was going to be 4, but I just wanted to make sure. Usually when I do this, I'll do a 10-pound bag of potatoes and have it for a big, huge party or picnic or something like that. I've even made this and took it camping because I have a camper, because my ass is too old to, sorry about the language, to camp in a tent anymore. So I've got 4 hard-boiled eggs and 5 pounds of potatoes. Our next item is I diced up small pieces is celery. Yep, I use the same dishes that I would get some of the other celery from the store to put them in. So that's 1 cup of celery, diced up small. And 1 cup of onions, a little bit more to be honest, diced up small also. So I'm just going to sprinkle these guys everywhere. And I'm going to mix it around. And then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to cool while I make the cooked dressing. Okay, so bear with me. I'll be back in a few. All right, now for the sauce, what we have been waiting for. Now, my first recommendation is to make sure you have all your ingredients out. Our first ingredient I'm going to put in here is 1/2 cup of butter. I'm going to melt it in this pan that you have in front of you. Now, what's nice about this recipe, you can double it, you can cut it in half. I usually double this for when I'm doing really big recipes. It's going to melt that. And our next item will be 1/2 cup of vinegar. I'm using distilled white vinegar. That's what I suggest that you use also. Now this will clean out your sinuses because it's vinegar when it starts getting hot. I'm going to let this melt and we'll be right back. So while the vinegar and the butter is melting together, or melting, I'm doing it slowly, I'm going to take some eggs, and now these are from our neighbor next door and another lady, and I am going to do 8 eggs. However, because they're farm fresh and occasionally I've gotten a weird egg, I always put them in here so I can separate them first. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. Now the butter and vinegar is melting nicely. I just turned it down to low. 'Oops. Yep, I'm making a mess over here. That's what I do. My kitchen, my messes. So we have 5 in there so far. There's 6. 7. And 8. So we're going to take these. Okay, so I've got my butter and vinegar melting very nice. There's just one little spot left in there. And I've got my 8 eggs in here. Now I need to slowly whip these guys together. Just using a hand whisk. Wisp. Yes, that's how you say it. And I want these to be really good and whipped together. I guess you could use an egg beater if you wanted to, but we don't want them foamy. Just going to make sure that this butter is melting. I need that to be all melted. Now, when I pour these eggs in, I need to stir constantly because I do not want these eggs to go yucky and make them look more like a egg. I need it to look like a meshed together sauce. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so the vinegar and the butter is mixed together and melted, and I've got these eggs all whipped up together. I'm going to pull you in close. I'm going to slowly pour this in and whip it as I slowly pour it in. I don't like using this whisk on this pan, but my other one that had the coating on it died. It broke apart, and I can't find another one. I've got to look, I guess, again. Now you want to keep stirring because you don't want this to get all like it's scrambled eggs or anything like this. You want a nice blended together sauce. I'm going to turn this up to medium heat. Now that I've got it mixed together really good and there's no lumps in it. And I'm just going to continuously stir this. and we'll be back in a minute. So I turned it back down to low, and you can see it is thickening up. Now, sometimes this will look like it's getting kind of stringy. That's just the eggs cooking together, and that's all right. I wipe down the sides, and I just keep whispering it together until it is super, super thick. Now, one nice thing about putting eggs in your egg salad, if you do get a couple pieces of the egg whites that kind of didn't blend in together, nobody will ever notice it. There's my secret. So this is really, really thick. I want to get this as thick as possible. Now, if you like your potato salad really, really a lot of sauce on it, you could actually add not so much as double this recipe, but cut it in half and then add it to it. So it would actually be, instead of 8 eggs, you'd end up doing 12 eggs, and you'd end up doing 3/4 cup of butter, 3/4 cups of vinegar, and so that's kind of what you'd end up doing. So do you see how thick that is? I'm going to pull this off the heat. Just give me 1 second. Okay, my first item of business is going to be 1 cup of sugar and that very, very, very thick egg mixture. I'm going to get this whipped in just like this. Now you'll see that the sauce is actually going to start thinning out. That's all right. And yes, you'll see a little bit of the egg where it didn't completely blend together. It's got a little bit of whites, but that's all right too. Our next items, we want 2 teaspoons of mustard and 1 1/4 cup of mayo. Now, it could be any type of mayo that you want. I actually have a mixture of regular mayonnaise and avocado mayonnaise, about half and half. Now, you want to salt and pepper this to taste whenever you decide to put it in there. I will take my doTERRA essential oil, my black pepper, and actually put it in the sauce here. But you don't have to. That's kind of an optional thing. And I'm just going to drop a couple drops in there. Well, okay, 3 drops. And I'm just going to mix this together, just like this. And get this really good and mixed together for you. And we'll be pouring it over our potato salad. Okay, so I've got my potato salad out, and I have mixed it all together, the eggs, the celery, the onions, and the potatoes. Now I'm going to go ahead and pour the hot sauce over it. Really need to get you switched around to the other side because I got to remember I'm left-handed. So hang on. All right, so let me get the rest of this sauce in the pan. This will clean out much better with the spatula. Now, your sauce will be a little sweet, but it'll have a slight little tang to it. But it seems like as it cools down and gets mixed in with the onions and the celery and the potatoes and the eggs, it loses most of its tartness. I don't want to oversweet it, but I also want it to be a little sweet. So let's see how much sauce is in this. As you know, I like my sauce. Definitely will have enough. I won't have to add up. I won't have to do up another batch or half this batch and add to it. So it should be really good. Yes, I have it in an oversized pan because it's easier for me to mix. And I'm going to bring you back tomorrow morning after this is sit in the refrigerator for a good 10, 12 hours. So you can see what it looks like and put it in a smaller bowl. All right, so we'll be back. Well, here is my bowl of potato salad. That is a nice, pretty container, nicely mixed, and we're going to do a taste test. I am so looking forward to this. Don't get potato salad much because it takes a long time to make it, because I have to do it usually the day before, but it is amazing, and we'll be back in a second. So we're just doing a little taste test today because I'm actually getting ready to run out for this picnic. So let me see if I did it right. I'm sure I did, but let's just check. It's very, very, I love my potato salad. Amazing. Well, now you have my sought after secret recipe for my potato salad. I guess it's not much of a secret anymore, but there you go. Great for a picnic, great for a side for dinner, hamburgers and hot dogs, whatever you want to do. And I figured I'd do this now because picnic season is definitely coming up, and you'll have a great potato salad to make. Surprise everybody and let them know where you got it. So remember, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave me a comment, especially if you make it or if you have a recipe, please. I do appreciate it, and I do appreciate all my subscribers and followers and viewers. So remember, like, share, and subscribe. Charlie B signing out.